Hey guys, welcome back. It's me again. Yay, I guess. Whatever. So, on today's video, I'll be going through April School Day 2017, which I think was reused as May International 2017. I'm basically just going to walk through the test, answer a couple of questions. I think these types of videos are helpful because you kind of see how I would approach and answer the question if I had taken the test, and plus like a couple of tips and tricks I throw in at you along the way. So yeah, and just to put it out there guys, this test has already been released by College Board. I got it off Reddit. I'll have the link down below if you want to check it out. There's a couple more QAS tests there, so there's definitely nothing shady or illegal about this going on here. Yeah, and I'm probably gonna film a couple more of these videos, so this is like episode 1 of like the walkthrough sequel, me walking through like previously administered SAT tests. Hope you enjoy this video, and yeah, but before we actually like start and go on with the questions, I want to remind you guys of the ultimate, I call it the ultimate SAT tip, which my friend talked about in a previous video, which I think was the first ever video on this channel. I have it linked somewhere up here, and he talked about how the question, reading the question carefully is important. Like, you should always take your time when reading the question, like read with your pencil, underline key information, because everything you need to get to an answer is already provided in the question, like hopefully, whether it be like clearly stated or in between the lines, but it's there. So work with what you've got guys, and hopefully this will like prevent you from getting screwed over by like silly mistakes. Enough with the rambling, I'm gonna start right now. So a farmer, question number 1. A farmer sold 108 pounds of produce that consisted of Z pounds of zucchini and C pounds of cucumbers. So we don't know how many pounds exactly did he sell, pounds of like cucumbers and zucchini. So that's why we're using Z or Z and C. But we do know that if we add the number of pounds, it would give us 108. So Z plus C gives us 108. Yeah, and if we stop there for a minute and kind of like look at the answer choices, we find that there are only 2 choices that satisfy this little expression here, or this little function, which are B and C, I think. So this is wrong and this is wrong too, so we're going to eliminate A and D. See, you've already eliminated 2 questions and we've like just read 1 sentence of the question. So moving on, the farmer sold the zucchini for 1.69 per pound. So each pound costs $1.69. That's if I had like 2 pounds, I'd multiply that. I'd multiply this number here by 2. If I had 3 pounds, I'd multiply it by 3, and etc. And the cucumbers for 99 cents. Same here. I'm collecting a total of 150.32 from selling Z pounds of zucchini and C pounds of cucumber. Alright, so 1.69 times the number of pounds we don't know, plus 0.99 times the number of pounds of cucumber we don't know, gives us 150.32. And let's look at the remaining 2 answer choices. Yeah, B. B is the right answer choice here. Yeah, there you go guys, so easy. Alright, so question number... Ooh, what? Alright, so I don't think the questions are in order here, but we'll work with this. Question number 3. Alright, question number 3. 5x squared negative 3 between brackets 1 minus x minus 2x between brackets x plus 5. So what we want to do here first is we want to multiply out the brackets. I don't like how it looks here. But take care, this is negative 3, not 3, and negative 2. Because if you multiply by 3 and by 2x, it will like produce an entirely different expression. So let's multiply out the brackets. So negative 3, or 5x squared first. Negative 3 times 1, that's negative 3. Negative 3 times negative x. When you multiply a negative value by another negative value, it gives you a positive value. So that's 3x plus 3x. Negative 2x times x, that's negative 2x squared. Negative 10x. Alright, so now that everything's nice and expanded, expanded, a weird word to say. we're going to combine all the like terms. So 5x squared minus 2x squared, that's 3x squared. 3x minus 10x, that's negative 7x. And our negative 3, I'm going to throw it right here. So 3x squared negative 7x minus 3. Let me look at the answer choices, and yeah, that's A. Alright, moving on to question number 2. Okay, so the formula above gives, let me just change the color. The formula above gives the monthly cost, sees the cost. So let me just write it down so we don't have to go back to the question. So this is the cost in dollars of operating a delivery truck. When the driver works a total of X hours, so X is the number of hours, so let me write hours here. Yes. And when Y gallons of gasoline is used, so Y is for like the gas. Alrighty. If in a particular month it costs no more than 2,000, so it costs no more than 2,000. So 2,000 here is the cost, which is C. So 2,000, and because it costs no more than 2,000, so 10x plus 4y is smaller than or equal or less than or equal to 2,000. So 10x plus 4y. Alright, to operate the truck and at least 150 gallons of gas. So let's plug 150 in for y. So 4 times 150, that's 600. Yes. So 2,000 is greater than or equal 10x plus 600. Alright, so if we like combine the like terms on one side, that is, we take 2,000, we take 600 on the other side, that would be 1,400 is greater than or equal 10x. So x is smaller than or equal 140. So x is smaller than or equal 140. So okay, so D is too big. C is too big too, so it's either 140 or 125. Both work because x is either 140 or smaller than 140. But we want the maximum. See, if you read the question till the end, what's the maximum number of hours? So the maximum number of hours here is 140. All right. So question number 4. So which of the following lists all the solutions to the quadratic equation above? So a quadratic equation in the standard form is, let me write that down, ax squared plus bx plus c. So a is the coefficient of x squared, b the coefficient of x, and c is like the y-intercept. Alright, so what are the solutions to this equation? Now, first thing we want to do here is we want to expand or like multiply out the brackets as we did in, I think, question number 3. So that would be x squared plus 2x equals 8. And to get this, to get it in the quadratic standard form, we want to kind of like, oh yeah, I forgot the word. We want to move 8 to the other side. So that would be x squared plus 2x minus 8. Now we want to factorize this function. So let me just open 2 brackets. X and x. So we're looking for 2 numbers that when we multiply them, they give us negative 8, and when we either like add or subtract them, they give us 2. And those 2 numbers are 4 and 2. So if we multiply 4 by 2, it would give us 8, and if we subtract 4 from 2 from 4, it would give us 2. So 1 is 4 here, and 1 is 2. And this would be positive, this would be negative. Alright, so the answers, so the solution to this equation solutions are 2x equals 2 and x equals negative 4. Because doesn't this quadratic function here equal 0, right? If we plug in for 2, then 2 minus 2 is 0, and anything multiplied by 0 gives us 0. Same with negative 4. If we plug in for negative 4, then x, and then negative 4 plus 4, that was 0. 0 multiplied by any number in the world was going to give us 0. So our solutions here are 2 and negative 4, which is C. And see, if you kind of like stumbled upon this question and you don't know what to do, just like plug in the answer choices. Most of the time you will get to the right answer by plugging in. It's just going to take way longer, but it's definitely better than not doing anything at all, right? Okay, so now moving on to question 5. So in the figure above, BC and AD are parallel. So BC and AD are parallel. AB and EC are also parallel. So this line here and this one are also parallel. CD and CE is equal. So CD and CE is equal. What's the measure? Oh, and ABC, angle ABC, which is here, is 115. What's the measure of BC, angle BCD? So, alright, so after reading the question, I knew for a fact that quadrilateral ABCE, sorry, is a parallelogram. I hope I'm not mispronouncing that. Why? Because a parallelogram is like quadrilateral, where each of its opposite sides are parallel, and that's the case here. So BC is parallel to AE and BA is parallel to CE. Another property of the parallelogram is that each two adjacent angles are supplementary, meaning they add up to 180. So if this is 115, then this here is 65. And if this is 115, then this also is 65. This leads us to another property of parallelogram, that each two opposite angles are equal in length. So if this is 65 and this is 65, then this is also 115. Alright, so if this is 115, I'm sorry that that's not really clear, but yeah. If this is 115, then 180 minus 115, then this angle here, the base angle of the isosceles triangle, is 65. And because it's an isosceles triangle, angle D is also 65. So 65 and 65, that's 130. 180 minus 130, that's 50. So 50 plus 100 plus 65, 50 plus 65 equals 115, which is answer choice B. Alright, so the solutions of the system of equations above is x and y. What's the value of x? So it's basically asking if the two, which is the intersection, what are the coordinates of the intersection point of these two system of equations. So what we want to do is we want to plug in for y, but first let us write this equation here in the form of y equals mx plus c. So y equals 0.5x minus 10. Alright, let's plug the y here in for this y. It would be x plus 2 times 0.5x minus 10 equals 16. That's x plus 2 times 0.5x, that's x, minus 20 equals 16. So 2x minus 20 equals 16. 2x equals 36, so x equals 18. And there you go, that's choice C. So question 6. At a store, a coat is originally priced at P dollars, it's on sale for T dollars, and the relationship between P and T is given in the equation above. What is P in terms of T? So we want to solve for P, and what it basically means is that you're trying to get to a statement that has P equals something, where you only see P by itself on one side of the equal sign. So to do that, we have to get rid of the 0.8 here, right? And in order to get rid of the 0.8, we divide by 0.8 to get 1. So 0.8p over 0.8p, and we do that to both sides of the equation, not just to this side, but to this side and the other side after the equal sign too. So 0.8p over 0.8 equals t over 0.8. This cancels this, leaving P equals T over 0.8, which is, yeah, answer choice C. So question 8, which of the following is the graph of equation y equals 2x plus 3? So the equation has a positive slope of 2 and a positive y-intercept of 3. So now I used to get confused between positive and negative slopes every single time, like I'd always get them mixed up, until one of my friends, and I love him for that, told me that usually a line with a positive slope is similar to a Nike swoosh, so it goes like this, while a line with a negative slope is like in the opposite direction, or a reflection of the swoosh, like so. Does that make sense? Because I don't know, because it helped me a lot. So yeah, so this here definitely looks like a Nike sign, could be a so A's in, B could also be a Nike sign, so that's in 2, same as for D, but C here is the reflection of the swoosh or the sign. It's in the opposite direction. It would have been that way if it had a positive slope. So C's out for now, or out for good, you know. Now we want a graph with a y-intercept of 3, and a y-intercept is basically where the line touches the y-axis, so we want a graph where the line touches the y-axis at 3. If we look at graph A and see where it touches the y-axis, that would be 1, 2, and at 3 it touches at this point here, so A's in, the origin's here, if you can't see, so let me see, so this line touches the y-axis at 2, not 3, so B's also out. As for D, it also touches the y-axis at 3. So the tiebreaker here is the exact, or the value of the slope itself. And a quick way to remember the slope is rise over run. And here in graph A, we rise for 3 steps and then we run for 1.5 steps. So that's 3 over 1.5, 2. So the slope is 2. The answer is A. Don't bother like trying the remaining graph, because there's only one correct answer. So the system of equations above is graphed in the xy plane. Which of the following is the y-coordinate of the intersection point x and y? So this question is actually pretty similar to question 7, so I'm going to leave it for you guys to solve, and then I'll have the answers linked down below, have them down below just as last time. So yeah, for question 10, which of the following expressions is equivalent to the one above where x does not equal to 1? So when it comes to adding and subtracting fractions, you have to make sure that the denominators of the fractions you're working with are the same value. So in this case, for fraction number 1, and this is number 2, to have a denominator equal to that of fraction number 2, we're going to multiply by 2. But we're not only going to multiply the denominator, but also the numerator. So that's 2 times 5 over 2 times x minus 1. 2 times 5, that's 10. Now we could actually add and subtract. We could actually like add the two fractions together. So 10 plus 8, that's 18 over 2 times x minus 1. Now if we divide by 2, that would give us 9 over x minus 1, which is answer choice A. Now that's it for today, guys. I'll probably do the rest of the questions in a separate video later on, and if you don't know already, Kara Tutoring, we tutor low-income students for absolutely nothing in return. Like, we're a team of global SAT tutors, high qualified SAT tutors with an average score of 1500, so that's like pretty cool. And yeah, don't forget to follow us on social media. We post a lot of like tips and strategies and another bunch of like informative stuff weekly. That's like pretty interesting. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up. I've always wanted to say that. And yeah, If you've got like any ideas for future videos, then let us know in the comment section below. Yeah, that's basically it. Hope you guys have a nice day, and bye!